on their behalf, that some of you might find black and white cards.
Good afternoon and welcome to the Heat Army podcast commentary service this afternoon. We are sitting in the Tyne and Wear stand at the moment. Earlier on, the pitch was absolutely bathed in sunshine. It is a massively blue sky. I'll get your words out, probably blue sky above Gateshead at the moment, but it's not as nice as it looks. It is quite nippy here and the chill is in the air for this afternoon's game. Of course, it is Gateshead versus York City, and we will be bringing you every kick. And this afternoon, things might sound a little bit different, not audio-wise or anything, but I will be making comments about what you can see on your TV screen. That is because our commentary service is going to be carried on the National League TV streaming service. So if you wanted to watch that and listen to us there, you can do. And you'll get to see what we're talking about. But in turn as well, I will be mentioning to them that we have audio listeners as well. That's why I might be commentating, so to speak, for the the visual viewer this afternoon. So please do, get involved as ever, message in, and we'll be giving out the Twitter address as well for people watching, and they join us as the teams come out for the first half. So yeah, there we are. I mentioned before, my name's David Gallis. I'm joined by Mark Rubbers. He's going to just join us momentarily. He's just doing a little bit of work while he's sat next to me. But I'll give you the teams at the moment. York City, this is how they line up this afternoon. Ethan Ross in goal, Ryan Fallowfield, Adam Cooks, Maxim Kugun, Paddy McLaughlin, of course, former Gateshead player, Alex Hurst, Linnell John Lewis, who is captain this afternoon, Mitch Hancock, Dan Pybus, Nathan Thomas, and Michael Duckworth. On the bench, Ryan Whitley, Shaq Ford. It is Scott Burgess, Sam Sanders, and Manny Deku. And for Gateshead, this is how they will line up this afternoon. I will be going through this again later on. James Montgomery in goal, Robbie Tinkler, Kenton Richardson, Lewis Story, Ethan Pye. Then in midfield, you have Owen Bailey, Camille Conter, and Greg Ollie, the captain. Then you have Dan Ward, Adam Campbell, and Denny Elliott. On the bench, you've got Rob Elliott on the bench today with Dan Jarvis, Elliot Forbes, Lewis Knight, and Connor Carty. So there's players in backup, which we haven't had much of this season, but Gateshead with a squad that is more or less fully fit. And Mark, it's nice to have a fully fit team available.
It is, yeah. And Happy New Year to everyone, by the way.
Yes, Happy New Year.
You probably already said that. But,
I didn't, I forgot.
Terrible host. It's been a long time coming, hasn't it? Gateshead having actual options on the bench. You look at the squad now, and it's starting to get to a situation where Mike Williamson and Ian Watson have really big calls to make week in, week out. You look at the quality of Forbes, Jarvis, Knight, and Carty. There's still players that aren't even in the match day squad that could really command a starting place.
Yeah.
But today's going to be a challenging game. I look at this York side; it's full of qualities. Quality players. Like Nathan Thomas, Mitch Hancock, Linnell John Lewis, all threats. And then obviously you've got. I know managers like to say that what happened in the previous meeting doesn't really impact on this, but I kind of feel today I think there'll be a determination in the York side to make amends for what was an underwhelming performance on Boxing Day. So it's going to be interesting to see how both sides react to that.
It certainly is. And also as well, I've just been made aware by my counterpart down at York, Paul. He's just messaged that the broadcast is great and clear. So if you can just confirm that we are live on. We were under the impression we weren't going on until the teams came out. But if you're joining us and you are watching on National League TV stream service even, thank you very much for joining us. You can message us as well. Let us know where you're watching from in the world at Heat_Army on Twitter. And when we've got a break in play, we'll endeavour to read those out. And also for our audio listeners, as well on YouTube and Facebook. You can message us, as we have had messages already. Sean Parry, he's put, good afternoon and good luck, lads. We've also got a message from Liv Walden. She's put, so pleased to hear your voice. Hope you aren't too cold. It is a nippy day here on Tyneside. Watching from home, says Sarah Els. Good company today. Come on, lads. The messages are flying in, and we hope to get them on Twitter as well. Could not be there, make the match today. Daft Man flew away the heat. There's a lot of it going around. We'll read out some more of the messages around. And also, just before we get going, a special mention to Charles Wharf, club photographer. He's had a bit of a nasty tumble and he can't make today. So, Charles, we hope you're on the mend, and we hope to see you back here taking your fantastic pictures soon. And, well, Mark, just having a little look at our visitors. There's a few familiar names in that team, as I said, in that side, but only really one makes the team today. But that's Paddy McLaughlin, and I've run out of superlatives to say about him in his time at Gateshead. He always gave 110%.
Yeah, vastly experienced midfielder. You think of some of the memories he created during his time here. Became a real sort of favourite with the fans. He's equally as important to York, that experience in the heart of the midfield. He knows the level. Obviously, he's played higher as well, but he knows what it takes to succeed at this level. Had great success with Grimsby as well. So, yeah, he'll be one to watch today. Another one currently stood pitch side, obviously. A real hero during his time at Gateshead. Unfortunately, making his way back from a really horrendous injury. Scott Barrow as well. Was influential during his time at the International Stadium, and hopefully Scott is a great guy. Hopefully he's back to full fitness in the near future, and York fans get to see his undoubted talent.
Yeah, fantastic left back, and of course is partial to scoring a couple of world-class goals from time to time. Just having a little look through the York side as well. Some other names to pick out, of course, Linnell John Lewis, Big Shop, as he's known to his friends. You know what you're going to get from him, a real danger in the box and outside the box as well with his build-up play.
I think he's a main threat today for York. I really do. He's, again, I keep saying that word experience, but he's got that. You mentioned the power, the pace, the finishing. He's a real good player, real handful. And, Louis Story and Kenton Richardson will know that they're in for an uneasy afternoon.
Certainly. Just before we go on to, obviously, the Gateshead team again, just a special mention to the amount of York fans that have made the trip up here on the 2nd of January. Of course, it was going to be a New Year's Day fixture originally, but what a fantastic following there. I'd say close to 500, maybe 600, and they're still coming in on the far side. They'll be happy that they are in the sunshine at the moment. It does get quite cold here at Gateshead Stadium. Of course, we're on the banks of the Tyne, and the wind just howls through here. So if you're at home, I'm quite jealous that you've got a warm settee to be on, either watching or listening. So enjoy it, but hopefully the game will warm up everybody here, and it should be a fantastic game. We've got more messages that have come in from our listeners. We've got a message here from Hebson. He's put all the best, Happy New Year, everyone. Of course, we reciprocate that to everyone listening in. We've got one here from Craig Hilton. Afternoon, hope you're okay. Come on the heat. We've got also there, where can I watch the game like, says Sarah. It is on the National League TV streaming service. So if you search that in Google, register. Remember to register, you're a Gateshead fan, so Gateshead get their share of the money, and you'll be able to watch in there. And Simon Jeffrey spoke, come on Gateshead, huge game day, 4-1 win, Elliott 2, Ollie and Campbell. Well, it's an ambitious scoreline. It's going to be a tighter game, I think, today. Of course, they've got under new management at York under David Webb, and maybe a one that come underneath the radar. I don't think many people have seen that move coming, but he's got a good calibre, good pedigree. He's worked at some big clubs under some big managers, and he'll be wanting to implement what he's learnt on his team soon.
Yeah, I think with any manager coming in at this level, it's all about contacts and what you know, and he obviously has a good contact list. I dare say that'll be put to good use over the next few weeks and months with players coming in. It's a big test for him, though. York are a big club, big expectations. Supporters have had a horrible few years. You think of the relegation from the Football League and then going straight down to National League North. A massive club, obviously new stadium there as well that they moved into, which I've visited a few times in recent months.
Well, you mentioned about obviously dropping out of the Football League, and in all intents and purposes, the fan base, the ground, the reputation, they are a football league
They are
club,
absolutely a
except
football league club.
the standing. And of course, they'll be wanting to get back. But of course, we've had some battles with them over the years in the National League North in recent seasons. And it's always been a hard-fought affair. We know what we're going to get. I think they know what they're going to get from us. It's going to be attacking football from both sides.
I do remember being, I think it was the first season Gateshead got relegated into National League North, and standing in the away end on an August Bank Holiday Monday to do a piece from the away end at Bootham Crescent, and it was possibly the hottest I've ever been at a football match. It was absolutely sweltering, a 1-1 draw.
Wow.
But no, you're right, they're a football league club and everything but status, but God, look, how many clubs can we say that about in this division at the minute? You look at, clubs like Southend, Oldham, who would have thought they would have been, technically classed as non-league clubs, aren't they? It's remarkable, really.
It certainly is. If you're just joining us, thank you very much. My name's David Gaddis. I'm joined here by Mark Curvers, local author and journalist, and can I say a nice lad as well?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, there we go.
Why not?
If I say you can message us, tweet at @heat_army. We'd like to be interactive with our viewers and listeners. We've already read out messages, and you can tell us where you're listening from as well. And we try not to be too biased. Of course, we are a Gateshead commentary, but we call it as we see it. And of course, you're going to be seeing it on National League TV streaming service if you are tuned in that way. So you'll know exactly what we're talking about. And also, just before we do start the game, we do have people listening online audio and obviously watching on the streaming service. So I might be a little bit over-commentating, as it were, to what it would be to a normal TV commentary, obviously to describe what's going on for the people who are audio only. So do be kind, don't be too harsh, but hopefully you can enjoy this game. And it's an absolute pleasure to be doing this. It shows you how far non-league has come. We've seen much of what Ryan Reynolds and other clubs have done about wanting to get their teams a bigger reach. The National League has listened, and this is the fruit of it now, Mark. We're in a new era.
Yeah, it's obviously a new development for non-league football. You hope it won't have an impact on attendances, because obviously there's nothing like that match day experience of being at a game and experiencing the atmosphere of being at a game. But what it does do, obviously this league is a national league. Not a lot of fans will, some clubs anyway, will travel the full length of the country to watch their team play at Torquay or from down south up here at Gateshead. So it gives an opportunity to those fans to watch their players and their side when they are playing at the other end of the country.
It certainly does. But this one isn't one of the longer journeys, of course, this season, and York fans have made a fantastic effort this afternoon. Still coming in, we can see on the side of the stadium there. But the teams are coming out now. It's National League action, Gateshead versus York. And the teams are in reversed strips, of course, for the Shelter charity, the football country. And say all the clubs in the National League are showing their backing of this, where Gateshead are in their, of course, away shirts here today in their claret and blue, and York in their centenary strips of brown and lighter brown there. It's quite strange to see York in them colours, but as I say, it's a strip to mark their centenary, and we'll be going on with that. But this is how the teams line up this afternoon. Ethan Ross in goal for York, Ryan Fotherfield, Adam Crooks, Maxim Cahoon. It started already. How are we going to say that one, Mark? I'll let you. Cogan. There we go. Apologies, everybody. Paddy McLaughlin, Alex Hurst, Captain Linnell John Lewis, Mitch Hancock, Dan Pybus, who's a local lad, of course, from South Shields along the road, Nathan Thomas, and Michael Duckworth. On the bench is Ryan Whitley, Shaq Ford, Scott Burgess, Sam Sanders, and Manny Taku. For Gateshead, this is how they will line up this afternoon. It's James Montgomery in goal, Robbie Tinkler wearing number 2, Kenton Richardson number 5, Lewis Story number 6, Ethan Pye will be wearing number 3. The midfield is made up of Owen Bailey, Camille Conter, and Greg Ollie. Dan Ward, Adam Campbell, and Danny Elliott will make up the front 3. And on the bench is Rob Elliott, Dan Jarvis, Elliot Forbes, Lewis Knight, and Connor Carty. We're covered in all departments there, and as we mentioned in the build-up, Mark, nice to see Gateshead having a stronger bench than they've had in recent months, due to say, up to 9 to 10 players out injured at one point.
Oh, and the rest. I mean, I think when you go through the players registered, it's probably the biggest squad Gateshead have ever had. And I know there's been some managers in the past that have delved into transfer market with frequent, but you look at this, and this has been forced upon them with injuries and suspensions and the bad injuries to key players, but just nice to see a decent Gateshead squad coming back.
It certainly is. Well, Gateshead, it looks we've had the coin toss while we were talking there. Gateshead are going to be shooting towards the River Tyne, and York are going to be shooting towards the Felon End here. And we're about to get underway, and what a fantastic crowd as well, can I just say, that has turned up here on a match day. That's going to be could be close to 2,000 attendance here, especially with the away following. But we're going to get underway, and hopefully whatever team you support this afternoon, you come away happy, and if not, entertained by the game.
And us.
Yes, definitely by us. As Owen Bailey pings the ball out to the right-hand side, Tinkler tries to win the header. Of course, former York man, Robbie Tinkler, as he gets the ball quickly from the ball boy. Running track around the pitch, of course, if you can't see on the TV. As Gateshead now calmly play it back through Kenton Richardson all the way back to James Montgomery. Also, it's nice to see the fans doing a Newcastle-esque type of thing with the flags display here at Gateshead as the ball's been nodded forward by Pye, headed clear. Flicked on again as John Lewis brings the ball down, manages to get it to Pybus. Tries to get it through the legs of a Gateshead player, and now Ollie can put it over the top for Elliott to try and run onto, and plays it off him for a corner, for a goal kick, sorry.
Really made a big impact since he's come in, Danny Elliott. You know, the summer target, I think it was well known that Gateshead wanted to bring him in the summer, but finally got that man in early December, and he feels at home. You know, I spoke to him on Friday here at the International Stadium. You can sense that he's enjoying the early part of his time here.
Well, it's always helpful when a player can settle in, especially coming into a new club halfway through the season. But Ross's goal kick went right up there, nodded on by Hurst. Tinkler's going to be there to see it out for a goal kick.
Yeah, as you say, the credit to the York fans. It's not the longest journey. It's longer than it feels, though.
Oh, yeah.
Having done it a few times the opposite direction. I wouldn't even like to guess how many's over there. I'm guessing up towards sort of 500, 600 maybe. That'll push your attendance up. It'll make for an atmosphere. Great to see.
Well, Kent Richardson spotted Pye out here on the left-hand side, but the delivery wasn't the greatest, and Camille Conter brings it down in midfield. Pye manages to stub it on forward, but only as far as Crooks, who can deal with it, and Ross, the goalkeeper, can clear it up the pitch in turn. There's Robbie Tinkler. Calmly plays it back to Montgomery. His clearance is going to bounce out to play. No, it's going to stay in on the far side. Crook plays it back to Ross. All in green, and his ball forward. Thomas was appealing for a foul there. The ball went over the top of him and the Gateshead defender. Story picks out Bailey, puts the ball over the top for Dan Ward to chase onto, and the defender has to put that out. Good defending from Duckworth there. And Gateshead looking to use the channels. Campbell receives the ball, but his touch wasn't the greatest, and is intercepted, played off Pye, throw into York inside their own half.
Yeah, it looks a very fluid formation from Gateshead with that front three. Look at Campbell there popping up on the left-hand side. Obviously, the focal point will be Danny Elliott, but you'll be looking at Warden and Campbell supporting him.
There's a lot of pace there up front for Gateshead, but there's that man, Linnell John Lewis, who he'll drop deep and he'll pop up in the box as well to use his height and strength. I can always remember a few Christmases ago, maybe a few more than a few, but I think it was Grimsby did a mock advert, wasn't it, for John Lewis, and had him sat underneath the Christmas tree. Great stuff. I'll not be seeing that if he scores, but Tinkler has the ball on the far side. He's just been dispossessed. Good play by York, and Gates are going to win the ball back through Ollie, but it was Pybus who managed to guard it and get it to teammate. It's been cleared now. On the far side, it's Hurst battling. Ball played forward for John Lewis to run on to. Gateshead get it in midfield and can clear it up towards Danny Elliott, who couldn't guide it towards a teammate. Now Duckworth carries it over and then out to Thomas. Thomas skips past Pye, runs inside. There's a foul from Dan Ward and a free kick about 25 yards out here, right-hand side of the box. And this is a dangerous opportunity for York to get the ball in, especially when you've got that big man that we were just talking about before.
Yeah, Nathan Thomas is someone that tormented Blythe Spartans recently when York hammered them in the FA Trophy. Brings proven pedigree, Nathan. He likes to cut in, as you can see there. His first thought when he got the ball right-hand side was to cut inside. Just caught Pye a bit unawares, and this is dangerous for him.
It is. It's, Duckworth and Paddy McLaughlin stand over the ball. And they're spread out right across the box here by York. I mean, we're going to see a dive and run in here towards the back post. But will the delivery be good enough? Still waiting for the referees. Talking to the wall. Nathan Thomas is making a menace of himself next to the wall there. Paddy McLaughlin puts it in. It's a low one. It's been well worked, but not very well executed as a player goes down, and Thomas is screaming for a penalty and the ball's being cleared. And, well, we're not blessed with replays here, but you wouldn't like to call that one.
Well, you've given the referee a decision to make there, and what I will say, the referee did immediately say no foul.
Yeah. Obviously closer than us, but yeah, heart was in the mouth for a moment there if you're from a Gateshead persuasion.
Yeah.
But the ball has went out of play for a goal kick to York.
Really well worked free kick though, nice and inventive there from York.
Created the space, didn't it? That's why they were spread across the box looking for that run.
There's clearly anger on the York bench at that decision.
Yeah, they're not happy about that. And fourth official's in the middle there. He's pressing his earpiece, must be talking to the referee, let him know what's going on.
Still getting battered.
Well, in the air, John Lewis wins the ball, gets the ball there, but Conter comes back to help clear up. Pass back to Montgomery, who clears the ball quickly up towards the halfway line. Danny Elliott tries to turn Cooks, but Cooks wins the header only as far as the Gateshead shirt. Ward wins the follow-up header, but there was Dan Pybus to intercept and get the ball moving again. The ball goes up towards Linnell John Lewis, but Gateshead can clear the ball and pass it back to Montgomery.
The one thing I'd say about Gateshead is there does look to be a little bit more confidence in the passing, the movement, a bit more zip about them. The last time I was here, they also got beat here at home. I think it was against the early kickoff.
Yeah, it was Aldershot, wasn't it?
Aldershot, yeah. And there was no vibrancy in the game. There was no none of that. But we've seen a little bit of that the first sort of 10 minutes here, which is good to see. But York, you can see their threat top end of the pitch.
Yeah, without a doubt. And they've been moving the ball quickly as well. As Gateshead in possession, Tinkler puts the ball into the box looking for a runner. The ball's been cleared out for another throw, this time level with the corner of the box on the far side in front of the travelling York fans. Robbie Tinkler has Bailey, that shows for him, puts a cross into the box, but there is Coogan to clear it out. Another throw from the same place.
Back to where it started.
As Campbell drops deep, tries to play it forward, and it's come off a York player, and he's fouled Cooks there. I think it was on the far side. No, it wasn't Cooks. I can't say the shirt number, but free kick to York. And gives Gateshead a chance to get back in shape here. If y'all just join us, 0-0 here at Gateshead International Stadium into the 9th minute. We make it here by our clock. And open game so far. As Ethan Ross replaces the ball. He takes the free kick. And it's going to go all the way through to it's going to bounce Montgomery. Take a little back step there.
Steady on, Dave.
That's just for a second there. I've seen it happen too many times. Montgomery clears the ball from his hands on the edge of the box. Duckworth's going to win the header easily. Linnell John Lewis comes deep to get it. Now it's played forward, and on this right-hand side, Thomas has the ball, cuts into the box, down towards dead ball line, couldn't get the crossover. Then goes behind for a corner. And hang on,
no, I think it's come back off Thomas.
That must have, yeah, it's been given as a goal kick.
Why is the referee going over?
I don't know. Well, maybe he's having a word with him about what was said after the penalty incident, but you think he would have done that sooner if that was the case? but we're underway as the ball goes out for a goal kick this time. Definitely. Comes off Hurst on the far side. Well, Gateshead taking it short. Montgomery with the ball at his feet now. Plays it across to Kenton Richardson, former Sunderland man. Plays it back to Montgomery in his third stint with the club. His kick on the far side looks for the sprinting Tinkler, who makes the defenders work. He's chasing down the corner flag there. Now Cooks can clear it, only as far as Ollie. Ollie brings the ball down well, but Pybus was there like a rash just all over him, and what a run down the left-hand side there. But Gateshead managed to get the ball back, and yeah, they're quick on the break, York, aren't they? They can move the ball well. As it's going to be picked up midfield by Conter. Conter's ball to Kenton Richardson, who just had to...
Been a really good signing, Kenton Richardson, by the way. And obviously played fullback quite a bit at his previous clubs, but looks right at home at centre-back as well.
Yeah, of course he spent last season on loan at Spennymoor. And Gateshead obviously picked him up there. Ball goes out of play, just went over the head of Ethan Pye there. Crossfield ball.
Camel Conter just getting some pretty stern instructions from Mike Williamson there.
Yeah, we haven't seen much of Camille so far in this game, as Dan Ward loses out to Paddy McLaughlin, who carries the ball forward, who runs into 3 shirts and still has the ball, turns around, gives it to Duckworth. Duckworth plays the ball down the line, comes off Ward but doesn't go out. Story puts it out for good measure, and that's a throw-in halfway inside the Gateshead half here on our right-hand side.
Well, pretty even first 12 minutes, but I think just looking at it, it's I'd argue York have just had slightly the better of the game so far.
Then getting into the final third a bit more than Gateshead are, and they're going to take this corner quickly, although we're going to try. Gateshead managed to get 2 men over to stop that one, but Nathan Thomas stands to our right, ready to take this corner. The big men are up. Coogan is in there with John Lewis. As the movement starts to happen, now the ball comes in. John Lewis gets a free header but couldn't direct it under the bar. Over it went. Goal kick.
Yeah, would have taken some header from there. He's moving away from goal. He's had Arky's back to try and get something on it. He's actually done pretty well to get goalwards, to be honest.
Well, that just shows you the danger, how he was able just to find that little bit of space and make the space for himself.
Really good movement, by the way, from York there. It's obviously something they're working on the set pieces. You could see 3 or 4 players in and around the edge of 6-yard box just trying to manoeuvre space for themselves, John Lewis being one of them.
Pye plays inside to Conter. Conter tries to turn, but the ball rolls away to John Lewis, who turns, and he...
Oh, that's late.
That was a very late one there. And free kick to Gateshead right in front of the dugout. It was that late. I was looking to see what John Lewis had done. There was nothing there. Well, 13 minutes gone. We make it 0-0. If you're just welcome. Open game, but York, you would say, just slightly better at the moment. There's Tinkler. Plays it back to Kenton Richardson. Gateshead very comfortable to play from the back and try and create chances. As the ball gets to Danny Elliott. Ollie cuts inside with the ball, plays the ball over the top. Oh, and good defending there because Campbell was on the shoulder of the defender. As Tinkler comes in with a strong tackle there. Ball comes up and Story's there just to calmly give it to Richardson. And both sets of defenders are going to have to be in full concentration here today. The ball's going to fall to McLaughlin. The ball goes off Conter for a throw-in on the far side.
I do feel as if Cameron Conter is starting to just adjust to the National League now. I mean, he's been here, a good couple of months on loan, but looked a bit tentative at first, didn't he? Obviously, they've got those 2 goals and it just looks like he's at home. But you'll get a good lesson against Paddy McLaughlin today.
Well, he's on loan from Middlesbrough at the moment, and as I say, he's definitely improved as his loan period has went on. And of course, before that, he was at Watford with Gateshead sub-goalkeeper Rob Elliott. And apparently when he was at Watford, he was telling them all about Gateshead then. So It's not what you know, it's who you know. But the ball goes to Elliott in the middle. Nice ball out to Dan Ward. He needs targets in the box. He controls it. Can he get a ball in? Lays it off to Pye. Pye now plays it to Conter. Pye gets the ball back. Ward on the edge of the box. That was good defending there. He read it well and just nicked the ball off Ward. But his ball after that wasn't the greatest. But Hancock's definitely disrupted there. But Gateshead back on the attack. Ward plays a ball across there to Ollie. But as I say, the defence was there to read it. And Gateshead trying to get this ball forward. Tinkler now on the halfway line. Just slows it down and plays it back to Richardson. If he looks up Pye on this side, he's got Danny Elliott on the far side and does well up against Cooks, twisting and turning, but he needs support in the middle. Can he take long dead ball line? Ball goes out, goal kick. But he's looking to create something for himself, Danny Elliott.
He was. I think the simple option was on, though. Greg Ollie's made a good run from just on the edge of the area. It's going to have to be some run to get past that narrow angle. But yeah, signs of life from Gateshead.
Well, we wait for Ethan Ross to take his goal kick here. And he does. It's quite a powerful one. Goes up towards John Lewis, but he's beaten in the air. He didn't really get off the ground. It's still up in the air as Ollie nods it forward. Ball comes back to the Gateshead defence. Kent Richardson nods it up. Aerial battle still going on. The ball, well, Gateshead judged to have been fouled there. Owen Bailey wins a free kick. Just went a little bit scrappy in the last minute and a half.
Yeah, I think York are getting increasingly frustrated with the referee. A number of decisions have gone against them, questionable ones as well. But, they've got to hold that frustration and if anything, use it as energy, I guess.
Well, York trying to build something now as they build on the right-hand side, cut in. As Cooks has to... Now Cooks gets the ball, sorry. It was Fallowfield that was there. But gets to pick it up. Now in midfield as Pye nearly gets it stuck underneath his foot. Plays the ball forward to Ollie in space. Can he drive forward with the ball now? Gets it attacking in numbers. Ollie plays it out to the right-hand side. Campbell pulls it back across. Misses it. Can he finish it? Oh, great defending. Put bodies in front of the ball. And somehow they scrambled it. And then Ross got a hold of it. But that's better from Gateshead.
Yeah, really well with the pass from Greg Ollie to Adam Campbell. It's a good ball across, a dangerous one. Brave defending from York there. I've got to be honest, I thought Dan Ward was going to score, but it's a great block.
Yeah, you always feel for a keeper in them situations. He committed, but it just skimmed underneath his hand, it looked like there. As John Lewis goes up for the aerial battle, back heads it on, but falls to Story in the Gateshead defence.
Yeah, best passage of the game for Gateshead so far.
Well, Gateshead look to build from the back again as it's passed back to Montgomery. Montgomery has Story, who he picks out. Pye on the left-hand side, plays it in the centre to Owen Bailey. He's got options. Can he deliver the ball across the other side of the pitch? He can, and Tinkler's going to get there. Can he put the delivery in? He pulls it into the middle. There's Elliott. Can he finish it? And he puts it straight over the bar. I don't think he thought he was going to get that much time.
Yeah, I think he just sort of misjudged the flight of the ball, I think, and under pressure as well, we should say. I think he should do a little bit better, if I'm being honest. But great ball from Owen Bailey out wide, a brilliant ball. Lovely ball in from Tinkler as well. And like I say, I think Elliott will probably think he should have done a little bit better with that one.
Well, the last two attacks for Gateshead have been very dangerous. Can they build on this momentum? Into the 19th minute, 0-0. And we've got a decent game in our hands. Ethan Ross's goal kick goes up towards John Lewis, beaten in the air again by Bailey. Duckworth wins the header. It's up in the air again, nodded forward by York, brought down in midfield as Thomas lays the ball off to Hancock's. There we go, and Bailey does well to get the ball, gives it to and Gateshead trying to play a little bit of nice passing football and get the ball forward, but York just managed to disrupt it and play the ball at the far side, but Tinkler's there to intercept. Now he can send Campbell away down the right-hand side. He's got Cooks for company. Can he play it inside? Gets the ball back off Cooks. And the second cross, is it going to bounce out? It's been nodded out for a corner. Good defending from Cooks there. Got himself in the way.
Yeah, really good from Tinkler as well, by the way. Anticipation there, that crossfield ball. Campbell Mayfield, he should have done a little bit better. I think Elliott in the middle, pretty much on his own.
Yeah.
But good defending, well judged.
Well, Gateshead of a throw. They've had two in that area already before. Tinkler gets the ball back. Ollie back heels it. He was expecting the overlap there. What didn't come. And now York can clear the ball up towards the halfway line. And Kent Richardson wins the header, but only falls to a York shirt. Oh, good stuff from Kent Richardson. Read it. Falls back to a York shirt, and they'll pass it back to Ross in turn. Well, million mile an hour at the moment as Bailey and John Lewis are having an absolute aerial battle today. As now Nathan Thomas has it on the right-hand side of the box. He's going to cut in. He's got player twisting and turn. Ethan Pye has done absolutely fantastic there, the youngster on loan from Stockport. And he got himself in front and cleared the ball out for a throw in here on our right-hand side.
Yeah, I think looking at that, you're looking at Dan Ward to get back and support Ethan Pye because Thomas, don't get me wrong, Ethan Pye did very well there, by the way, but I just think they'll be looking for a little bit of support a little bit more from Dan Ward.
Well, we're going to see this throw come in from Duckworth. Movement. Duckworth gets the ball back. Looks to cross it and doesn't. He lays it off, sorry. Ball across to the far side as Fullerfield put it straight into Greg Ollie and then fouled him. Free kick to Gateshead. Gateshead want to get this ball moving quickly and they do. It's out to Dan Ward on the left-hand side. Just skips away from him. If only it had us sat up there, but good idea.
There's been a lot of that so far from Gateshead. That's a problem. It's been a good idea, but just execution hasn't quite come off.
Well, McLaughlin gives it back to Duckworth. Duckworth goes cross field. There's too much on it, and it's going to bounce. Is it going to go to play? No, it's going to be kept in by Fallowfield. Pybus drops deep, has to play it back to his keeper. Dan Ward goes to put him under pressure. Ball comes out to Duckworth on the right-hand side. Ball dinged forward, but there was Lewis Story just to control it and distribute it. But the pass from Pye wasn't great. Finds Pybus as Story goes into
great strength.
Makes stuff difficult for John Lewis, but now it's out on the right-hand side. Thomas puts a left footer into the box there. Montgomery just clutches that into his chest and showing another weapon to his arsenal there, Thomas, putting him with the left foot. Not a bad delivery.
Great delivery, yeah, just looking for the right run, I guess. But that's all come from Ethan Pye, just being a little bit careless in possession. We know at this level you will normally get punished if you do that. So just needs to switch on a little bit.
Well, Gateshead being allowed a lot of room at the back, not as much pressure as there was earlier in the game, and Gateshead can bring the ball forward as Bailey loses out in midfield, though. It's a tight, compact midfield from York at the moment, and there was Ollie sliding in, wins the ball. Campbell puts the ball for Elliott to run onto, but Fallowfield's there, puts it out, and it's going to be a throw, level with the corner of the box again. But that was good stuff from the captain, Ollie. Nice strong tackle there to win the ball back, because I think if they had got that ball through, York were on the break. Ollie gives the ball back to Tinkler. Bailey just got the ball caught underneath his feet, and now York back in possession, but
got away with one a little bit.
Yeah,
there.
they had to pass the ball back there. It's somewhat fortunate that they couldn't move the ball faster as Tinkler doesn't win the header, and it's out for a throw to Gateshead on the far side. Well, crossfield ball now to Story, who has acres of space to run into, and he does. Gives it out to Pye. Pye takes a touch, and nice play to get past his man. Still going, Pye plays it inside to Ward. Ward looks to have a shot, goes for it, and it's always rising. He had the space to do it, but the connection wasn't great.
Yeah, really positive from Ethan Pye, breaking forward from left back there, created some space. Dan Ward again, I keep saying that. He's a distance from 20 yards out there, but he may feel he should have at least made Ethan Ross work.
Yeah, without a doubt. Well, 24 minutes gone here at Gateshead International Stadium. Gateshead versus York. If you're just joining us, it's not a bad game to join, and it's been end-to-end stuff so far.
Temperature has really dipped, by the way.
Yes, it's very, very cold. As the ball goes out of play on the far side, throw into Gateshead just inside their own half. And Campbell manages to get the ball forward, couldn't pick out Elliott. Gateshead pick it back up midfield as Ollie nods it to Tinkler. Tinkler now gave it to Story, who just checks his run, plays it back to Kenton Richardson. Elliott drops deep to get involved, plays it back to Kenton Richardson. Pies in acres of space here. If Kent Richard can see the ball, instead go through the centre. Ollie now plays it through. Can Conter get there? There's good defending there by Duckworth, who had to intercept. Ball goes back up towards the...
Wasn't offside there.
Did the flag go up there?
No. Elliott's come back saying, holding his hands up, saying you can't go for the ball. He's offside. He wasn't.
Well, I say York just happy to slow the game down somewhat here. As Ross launches the ball up the pitch. Bailey wins the header. Handball in midfield. Free kick to Gateshead. There's Conter. Never really works that, does it? Trying to block it. It's going to be taken when it's going to be taken. Well, Bailey stands over this free kick. I'd imagine... Well, he doesn't. Commentator's curse. It's going to be Kenton Richardson who pings it out towards this left-hand side. Pye goes up in the air, wins the header.
Well, there, you know.
And just nobody anticipated him winning that one.
Someone's got to gamble.
Well, just looking at from our left to right, this Tynan Weir stand looks absolutely rammed from here. And a great following on the far side. There's Montgomery, just gathers the ball there. Edge of the box, rolls it out to Kenton Richardson.
Been a real common presence, hasn't he, James Montgomery, since he's come at the side.
He certainly has, and I mean, he's in his third stint, but he's not even 30 yet, and in goalkeeper years, he's got a lot of mileage left, hasn't he? And he just seems to get better and better. Who would have thought a couple of years ago you would have had a Premier League goalkeeper sitting on the bench being kept out by James Montgomery as the ball bounces over, it's been headed out, throw in on the far side. Robbie Tinkler once again grabs the ball. Adam Campbell shows for him, gives it back to Tinkler. Tinkler takes a touch. Ball just taken away from him, but Gateshead get it back through Ollie. Campbell gives it to Bailey. Story can look to get the ball moving. Pye gives it back to Bailey, who in a fluid motion fills in at centre back there. Gives it to Story, who's recovered back into position. Kent Richardson. Oh, and it's a mistake by Richardson. Montgomery comes out quickly to intercept there and mop up the mistake. Because
it wasn't a great ball by Louis Story, by the way.
Yeah, it didn't set up at all, and it just spun away from him. But well done to James Montgomery. He absolutely read that straight away, didn't he?
He had to.
It seemed to happen in slow motion as Hancock plays inside, but Gateshead managed to get the ball back.
That's nice.
There we go. Gateshead keeping the ball moving as Kent Richardson carries it forward 15 yards, lays it off to Tinkler. Back to Richardson.
Some movement.
It's been a little bit cagey at the moment, but that lovely ball. Oh, and the flick couldn't get it back. But and Dan Ward's going to get the ball back. Can he get the shot? He's up Denny Elliott. 1-on-1 with the keeper. He finishes. It's 1-0 to Gateshead. Oh, and what a calm finish that was. It just seemed like the York City defence stood still as Gateshead passed it around and Gateshead take the lead. But if this game continues like it has been, York are going to carve out their own chances.
Yeah, really well worked. I think York again appealing for a foul in midfield. I have to say, my first thought was there maybe was something in it. Referees played on, and from then York had just switched off. It's a lovely through ball, and it's a great finish. I know you can say he's throwing goal. There's no pressure on him, but when you got that much time to think about it as a striker, it becomes more and more difficult. But he never really looked like missing.
He certainly didn't. So as I say, the arguments from the York bench and York players might be that it did look that there was a shoulder barge in the build-up from Elliott, but the referee didn't call it, and the scoreline stands at 1-0 at the moment here at Gateshead International Stadium. Mike Williamson just giving some instructions there to Camille Conter there. As I expect York to come out and attack now, a little bit higher up the pitch than what they were before as they pick it up in midfield. McLaughlin gives it to Pybus. Now it's going to be played down the right-hand side, but Duckworth's ball wasn't the greatest. And Coogan Well, Gateshead nearly picked up the ball in midfield. York did well to keep the ball moving. Fallowfield now plays the ball down the line. There's nobody there, but it's going to be chased down. Montgomery comes outside his box and clears the ball down the right-hand side of the pitch. But Gateshead now trying to run forward to the ball. Ollie was dragged down. Referee says play on Elliott. Edge of the box. Is he found there? Free kick. He's going to give that. Oh, he says no. Well, why did he put a whistle to his lips? That was a strange one. It looked like he was going to point to it, but York on the attack now as Thomas attacking the right-hand side of the box. Gets past Pye. Can he cross it in? He can. And Story puts it behind there. And why did the referee go to... I'm not saying he blew the whistle, but he pulled the whistle up to his mouth.
Yeah, strange one. But I guess in his defence, he's been consistent for both sides and frustrating them. Yeah, strange one. I must admit again, my first instinct was a foul, but not given.
And just as we said, York to be feared on the counter because how quickly they got up the other end. And Gateshead had to defend.
Well, I think Thomas has been the main threat, hasn't he? And
he has.
As he lines up here.
Well, as he goes to deliver this one in, it's towards the near post, headed clear. And Gateshead now run to clear their lines as Elliott comes across to help with defensive duties. And the ball comes off Duckworth. And Gateshead can now try and get the ball moving forward, but the referee wants the ball taken from a little bit further back there. Well, from scoring the goal to defensive duties there, Danny Elliott did absolutely fantastic to put the pressure on the York player.
I just think he's given something different to this forward line, hasn't he? The pace, the power, the movement, the finishing, obviously.
Oh, lovely stuff from Pye and Conte. And Conte keeps the ball moving across there. And Richardson looks to find a blue shirt, finds Tinkler. Tinkler plays it inside to the captain. Ollie plays it down the channel there. Lovely stuff to Campbell. Campbell was blocked there as he tried to play the ball forward and putting the pressure on Gateshead out of possession, and ball played forward. Can Gateshead get there? They can. Ward brings it down to Ollie. Back to Ward. Was he fouled? The referee says yes.
Gateshead's work rate in midfield has been phenomenal, by the way. They are closing down in packs. You see there, Ollie and Ward doing it. It's great to see, and I think sometimes earlier in the season it maybe went missing a little bit.
Yeah.
But it's back with a vengeance here. It's more like sort of what we saw last season. Conte's playing his part as well, pressing, and it's really making life uncomfortable for that midfield of York.
Gateshead committing some of the big men forward here for this set piece. All the players on the edge of the box as Ollie on the right-hand touchline. 20 yards, 25 yards into the York half on the far side. He puts a delivery in. It's going to be towards Bailey. Bailey nods it forward and didn't get any power or real direction on that one there, but goal kick to York. And what a game we've had here so far. 33 minutes gone. Gateshead 1, York 0. Danny Elliott with the man to put the ball in the back of the net. And big thank you to everyone that has messaged in on the Heed Army chat. And also, if you'd like to message us on who are watching at home on the National League stream service, you can tweet us at Heed_Army or search Heed Army on Twitter. You'll find us as Elliott wins the header. Can Campbell chase the ball down, out it rolls, and it's a throw to York inside their own half.
Of course, the best result of the day happened before the game even got underway, didn't it? When we found some Bassett sports mix.
Oh yes, we have big thank you to Northeast non-league legend Paul Dixon for supplying the refreshments here. Well, ball is rolled out to Lewis Story. To Pye. Pye plays the ball over the top. Coogan was there to read it, but only as far as Bailey. Bailey puts it back to whence it came, and it's going to have to be chased down, but Duckworth just wanted rid of that, and up it goes and out for a throw just inside the Gateshead half. Well, I'll say it's been a game that's been played in a hell of a tempo so far as the offside flag goes up there.
Yeah, I mean, what's that now? Is it 4-4 for Elliott, I think?
I think it is, yeah. He's really settled well into life on Tyneside. Of course, his goal scoring exploits last year got him noticed in the summer by Gateshead. Of course, he was playing for Boston United, and he was gunning for goals with Kedwin Scott and Macaulay Langstaff last year. And say the summer transfer didn't work out, but in the end, the transfer has happened, albeit probably 6 months later than had hoped. But nice ball there as Ethan Pye tries to play forward to Elliott. Coogan.
I wonder what ever happened to those two.
I don't know. It's It's not like they're scoring more goals than Haaland, is it? It's in a few years' time, whatever happened to them. But at the moment, Gateshead putting the pressure on from the front as Tinkler goes up in the air, wins the header, only as far as Pybus. Pybus gets the ball back. He looks, he's got Nathan Thomas there in space, but picks out Duckworth. Duckworth goes long with this one there now. Been brought down by Paddy McLaughlin, who's under pressure from Conter. Plays it inside to Nathan Thomas, who's still going. And, well, Ty went in there and didn't get any contact. Good job that Thomas stayed on his feet. But saying that
looked less of a foul, the one he didn't give the ball.
Well, Gateshead have a free kick, and there's a frustration there as well from, I think it's from Pybus, and he's going to get a yellow card for his dissent, I think, to the referee. Yes, he's being called over, and
might be a
frustration's growing. No, the card is out. He's got it in his hand, and well, needless yellow to give away, really. It's always frustrating. Well, little break in play at the minute. 36 minutes gone. Gateshead 1, York 0. Danny Elliott, the man with the goal. Controversy in the build-up. Might have looked like a foul. As wow, it's a big scoreline in a local game down the road. Darlington 5, Scarborough 1 at Scarborough.
That game is an early kickoff, but still going on. There was a delay of over half an hour. Looks like there's been some comments made from the supporters. I'm not going to say which ones because I'm not sure, but players got halted while the situation was dealt with, which isn't great. But obviously a big game at the top of the National League North.
Well, ball played over the top. Tinkler running on the right-hand side, and it was Hurst that had to put it out.
Gateshead love that ball, don't they? The diagonal towards the fullbacks, and it works on both sides as well. Because
it definitely does. But Elliott turns and gets a shot off first time there, and there was Ross just to scoop it up, but he did well with two men behind him there.
Like I said earlier, I think he's really transformed the forward line with that energy he gives in the hold-up play as well, just easing a bit of pressure on the players behind him.
Ball played forward, up towards John Lewis. He wins the header, plays it inside, and Hancock's got there. Oh, and he's lobbed the keeper.
Finish.
Great finish. Montgomery got fingers to it, but he just managed to loft it enough over him as he runs over to the York fans on the far side. It's 1-1 here. And, well, he cut inside, made the space for himself, and the finish just spoke for itself.
Yeah, good flick inside. Gateshead will be given maybe too much time. James Montgomery, I'm not sure he'll be happy with where he was in terms of his position, and he's got a hand to it, but just not enough. It's a great finish, though, from Mitch Hancock. It's a really good player. He could have easily messed that up, because there's not a lot of space between him and Montgomery, but he's managed to get just enough on it to get it over.
Well, we said York had to be feared on the break, and that's just what's happened there. We've got a level game, 1-1, 38 minutes gone. Gateshead 1, York 1. As a flare has went off on the far side. There's Kenton Richardson. Plays it to Story, back to Richardson. Well, as Stewart battles to get the flare out of the crowd on the far side. And now Gateshead can try and build again as Elliott holds the ball up midfield, lays it off to Conter. Conter keeps the ball moving through there. Back to Elliott. Elliott now gives it out to Campbell. Can Campbell pull it back across? Goes for a shot. Good save there from Ross. Cleared by York. And Gateshead looking to turn the screw and get back into this. As headed clear. As Hancock's handball surely picked that. Well, referee says no. Played out onto the far side. Hurst now can try and run with the ball. He comes up against Robbie Tinkler. Now he's still going. Far side, takes down the dead ball line, cuts it back. There's Montgomery diving down to get it there near the near post. And, well, how quick is this game at the moment? It's end to end.
It's been a very good first half, wasn't it, in the last 5 minutes now. But, Gateshead be unhappy about that goal. As I say, you can't take anything away from the finish, but I just think the lack of reaction to the flick from John Lewis will disappoint Mike Williamson and Ian Watson. But, York, as we said, they've got plenty of threats top end of the pitch.
Certainly have, and say that flick just caught the Gateshead defence flat-footed and give Hancocks the chance to move into that space. But Gateshead pick it up now through Bailey, gives it back to Richardson, and that's put a bit of pep in York's step at the moment. They're pushing a little bit further forward, but Gateshead, as Elliott wins,
You know what?
that's very close. That
I don't think he was. It was very narrow, very tight if it was.
well, free kick to York, which is going to be taken very soon. I'm getting the scores from around the league shortly. There's McLaughlin nods it down to Duckworth. Duckworth does well to turn his man player inside, and now Ollie putting pressure on, played all the way back to Ross in the goal. We've got some scores from around the league. I'll give them out in the next break of play. As Conter does very well to get past McLaughlin. McLaughlin's got a hold of them all over, and that's surely yellow cards. It is. The card is out the pocket, and that was just a blatant bear hug from behind.
Yeah, it's a professional foul. You see them in every game.
You certainly do. Just some scores from around the league. Bournemouth are winning 1-0 at home to Barnet. Of course, 1-1 here between Gateshead and York. Maidstone 0, Dagenham 0, Solihull 0, Wrexham 1. And of course, if Gateshead were to get 3 points today and get a better result than Maidstone, they would climb out of the relegation zone. But there's a lot of football yet to be played this afternoon, and let alone 5 minutes plus here in the first half at Gateshead Stadium.
That could be a huge win for Wrexham, couldn't it, at the other end of the table?
Yes. They say they're running mates at the top of the league. Notts County didn't manage to pick up 3 points yesterday. But everyone cares about what's going on here at the moment as Pye on the left-hand side plays it inside to Ward. He's in space. Quickly closed down. There's Campbell. Gets it back to Ward. Oh, Duckworth was there. Just the ball was just played a little bit too far in front of Ward. And now Story with a crucial interception to stop John Lewis getting the ball. And Thomas wanted to take the ball quickly, the throw even, but he's decided to leave it for a teammate. Well, now the throw comes from Duckworth. Pye wins the header. As Coogan was battling with Elliott there. Cleared by York. All the way up the top there. Kent Richardson wins the header. Picked up midfield as Pybus puts it out to Farrowfield. Now Hurst can pick it up. Hurst under pressure from Tinkler. Now Pybus twisting and turning. Gets past Ollie. Plays it down the line. Gets it back. And now Hurst. Can he pick out a teammate? He can. Duckworth. They're high up the pitch in numbers at the moment. York. As Nathan Thomas cuts inside. Pye goes with him. Ball intercepted there just. And it's fell to John Lewis on the edge of the box. And as if down he goes. Referee says no. Well, surely that's a foul. Surely that's a booking for simulation if that's the case.
That's one of two things. It's either a foul and it's a free kick, or it's simulation. It's a booking.
Yep. Well, the referee needs to get a hold of that one. That's not rose tinted. I wouldn't want to see the Gateshead players doing that. 43 minutes gone. A hell of a game we've got here so far at Gateshead Stadium. Gateshead 1, York 1 as a ball comes out towards the left-hand side. It's going to fall though to Pye as Thomas didn't get them. He won the ball. He won the ball. It was a good tackle. Just man went over the top afterwards. And York managed to clear it. Bailey wins the header. McLaughlin. Now Pybus got it forward. Gateshead picking up midfield, but can Ollie get it from underneath his feet? He's fouled by McLaughlin. He needs to be careful.
You know, Owen Bailey's been everywhere in midfield. He's winning headers, he's winning challenges, his distribution's been good. Having a really good game.
Wow. York need to be careful with the two central midfielders who are full of hustle and bustle, both on yellow cards. As Tinkler plays it all the way back to Montgomery. Gateshead will build from the back again as Lewis Story pings the ball over the top, looking for the run of Dan Ward, and the ball's just going to skip away and out for a throw towards our left-hand side here.
I don't really think there's too much between the two teams, you know, like in terms of overall quality. Obviously, nothing between them in terms of the game, but
it's been a good contest. It's been strongly fought all the way throughout, and we're into the final minute here. We make it on our stadium clock here. As the ball's put over the top, Ward is going to chase down with Duckworth. He's making Duckworth work for it. He's got there. Duckworth does well to turn his man, but Ward stuck to him like glue. Ward got a touch of the ball. Duckworth did very well there. It was good defending, but gets to pick up the ball. Pye gets it to Conter. Conter to Ward. Ward, can he get it to a teammate? He can't. Plays inside to Campbell. Good stuff from Gator, keeping the ball moving on the edge of the box. There's Pye now. Can he get past his man? He can. And now Pye was left on the ground. Pye, can he play it across? There's a no. And Campbell plays it off a man. And York are going to manage to scramble this one clear. And
Brilliant.
lovely stuff from Linnell John Lewis. And the ball's played across to the far side. And now York are on the attack as it's been brought down well. Can he get the ball in front of his feet? He can. Lays it off. And there's the shot from Hancock's over the bar. Slightly wasted that build-up. I thought he might have run on himself with the ball. I think it was Hurst. And Gator would be thankful to see that ball sail over the bar. Didn't see how many minutes was added up there.
Well, there was 3 9s on it. So we're in for a late night.
Well, we certainly are. We've got 989 minutes. But we'll see.
Let's call the missus, Dave.
I'm already in trouble because she's ill with a cold. But
we're now entering additional time added on by the referee.
he didn't hazard a guess of what it was there, the stadium announcer, but
4 days.
Ball played over the top, and there it is. There's Dan Ward. He's going to latch on this side of the box. Can he control? He can. He needs to get a shot off. He can. Oh, what a finish! What a finish, Dan Ward! He just scooped it in like a bit of ice cream, and that was delicious.
Somebody's been working on their catchphrases, haven't they?
Oh!
It's a lovely finish. I don't know if it's taken a slight nick off the defender, I've got to be honest. But we are right behind it. It's a lovely finish if it hasn't. There's not a lot Dan Walker could do. I think Adam Campbell wanted a little pass on. But it's perfectly timed just before half time. We couldn't be better positioned there. We're right behind that. Dan Ward curled at far corner. Brilliant finish.
The finish from Hancock's was beautiful. That was sublime. The weight was perfect. It's a lot closer as well than the Hancock's finish. But wow, what a way to end the first half. We're into added on time here. Surely not more than a minute left. But it's Gateshead 2, York 1. Well, I think we need half-time, Mark, to get our chance to breathe. What a first half this has been so far. And York are going to get us back underway.
I'll say again, I don't think there's a lot between the two teams. It's going to be fine margins, and Gateshead just got to keep it tight and see this through to half time now.
Well, Pye is going to see that out, just bounces out, and referee looks at his watch there.
That said, I've got 920 minutes of extra time, injury time there.
Well, if you aren't watching live, you have to wait for the replay, the highlights on that one. Beautiful stuff as the ball's played back by Crooks to Ross. And that is the half-time whistle. Gateshead going 2-1 up here, having taken the lead through Danny Elliott. A great finish from Hancock's to level the game. And then we've seen a contender for goal of the season from Dan Ward there. Mark, just to sum up before we have our little break here at half-time, a performance that was needed?
Yeah, key moments and key times in games, and you look at the atmosphere as Gateshead are coming off here, the smiles on faces. Moments like that define seasons, and from a Gateshead point of view, you would hope that they can come out and really build on that second half. But I think we've seen enough from York City, from the likes of Nathan Thomas and certainly John Lewis's hold-up play. I think we've seen enough to know that they have considerable threat. Really impressed with 2 lads playing out wide for York. I think that's where the main threat is. But there will be a reaction second half, no doubt about it. Gateshead have got to be at the best.
They certainly do. Well, you won't miss a kick of us here in the second half. We're just going to go and catch our breath. You probably want to as well. We'll be back just before the teams come out for the second half. Once again, thank you for joining us, and we'll see you soon.
Yes, always give the podcast one more share. We're joined by our guest, Paul. How are you doing, Paul?
Evening, chaps. You all right?
Yeah, fantastic. Can you hear us all right?
Yeah, all good. Yeah.
Oh, good. You always fear when we have a guest come on. Sometimes the link isn't the greatest, but
Hey, it's nice to see a fella Baldy come up. Look at that. Get in. You're like me, you got more hair on your chin than on your head.
They say I should turn my head upside down.
Yeah.
I've been told that a few times, to be fair, Paul.
You've been told to have your head a shake, Mickey. Paul, obviously we've got the game coming up on Saturday. How's the season started for yourselves?
Unbelievably well, as you sort of alluded to just a few moments ago. Way beyond the expectation, I think, of any Wealdstone fan, especially after seeing pre-season. It was slightly underwhelming. There was, you always get the trialists, and we're never sure who the management team are going to sign on. We lost the 2 or 3 more influential players from last season, where we finished 16th. So unbelievable. 3 wins out of 4. The 3 wins that we have actually got are probably against the 3 stronger teams on paper, having lost to Eastleigh. So listen, we're not silly. We're only a sort of 1 defeat away from possibly a bad run, that sort of thing. But we'll take it. 3 out of 4 and sort of second in the league at this time is unbelievable.
It's not a bad way to start.
You haven't got your championship bunting up already.
No. Listen, we're very realistic. We punch above our weight. We have done for this our 3rd season now in the National League, and we survived the first 2. Did very well last season. No, it's 9 points towards safety. I think more than 9 points towards getting in the playoffs in League 2.
Yeah, I think we're probably the same. Just want to get as many points on the board as possible.
Yeah.
Oh, without a doubt. I think when you look at Wealdstone and what may hinder them going forward is the strength and depth in the squad. So if we can pick up as many points as we can whilst we're playing well, and the team are obviously doing very well, you hope you might pick up a few loan deals off the back of that, and let other players want to come and join if we're looking to sign others. So I think strength in depth is going to be probably something that will go against us. So by getting these points on the board is really going to help sort of getting into those stickier, colder, more difficult months, in and around and after Christmas. Definitely,
it's always the thing, isn't it? You don't want to get into a bad run of form when it's bad weather and travelling and horrible dark nights. It's never the greatest. But are Wealdstone full time, or are you one of the few part time outfits?
No, we have 1 full time employee at the football club, who is a chap that runs the club on a day-to-day basis on the non-footballing side.
Yeah.
The whole footballing operation is part-time. Our manager, Stuart Maynard, is actually a BT engineer, and he doesn't work on a Tuesday because he commits his time to Wealdstone on a Tuesday, and they train on traditionally as they used to non-league on a Tuesday and Thursday. I think the strength and conditioning coach, Rachel, she looks after them on a Monday sort of via a Zoom meeting and that sort of thing. So I mean, listen, they're doing extremely well. Gone are the days where you are, as Oldham fans suggested, they're plasterers and plumbers and farmers, but
I think everyone knows about nutrition and fitness now.
Yeah.
It's in general day-to-day life, let alone athletes, and most of these players have been at bigger clubs, haven't they, or been involved at some point, so they look after themselves.
And these lads are footballers. They just happen. I think the biggest thing that we don't get as a football team, as a squad, I guess, is the contact time with the management. Not doing 4 or 5 hours a day on the training field. They're doing 4 or 5 hours a week. But they're all. I think we've probably got 2 or 3 that maybe have other jobs, but I think mainly football is their main focus. So we're lucky in that sense. And I guess us and maybe Dorking. I know you mentioned Dorking moments ago, and Maidenhead could be that they try and cherry pick the best part-time footballers that the country can offer, and we certainly got some in Jack Cook and Max Kretschmar come in and done extremely well.
Yeah, it's always a challenge. I mean, obviously we're still full-time, which I didn't expect when we got demoted, but not by our own doing, of course. But it's one of them leagues where you do notice it is harder to compete against the full-time sides, isn't it?
Oh yeah, without that. And the thing was, when we came into it 3 seasons ago, we didn't have the setup we even have now, and it's those small steps to national league safety and national league status. 3 seasons ago, I mean, we were recruiting lads from the Ryman's Premier Division, some National League South teams. Now we're able to recruit National League standard players, those lads that have experience of the league. And I think that's where the biggest difference has come in the last 3 years, is the recruitment. Because we've stayed in the league, because we play the type of football and brand of football we do, everything has helped come, be better.
Mm-hmm. Well, just on that, we've got a question. Paul, what are the Wellstone tactics for coming to the game? I don't know if you want to skip all that away, but do you hold the midfield, or do you press up front straight away? What kind of football do Wellstone play?
No, Wellstone very much play a possession-based game. They play out of the back. They get caught a few times. Teams that do press easily, I think, very much were one that put the press on, whereas these bigger sort of ex-league teams and the bigger teams tend to sort of sit off, and we can play through the lines that little bit. But we certainly do play very, very good possession-based football. We try and get on the front foot, try and load on the wings and out wide, and sometimes outgun teams. We're not particularly big, we're not particularly aggressive. And there's a lot of people sort of say the National League, you need 6 foot giant. You wait till you play Woking. They're about I think the average height is about 6'2", right? So we haven't got that. We got a few bigger lads, but we're quick, small, young, and have a desire to want to sort of get forward and play attacking football.
No, I think it sounds exactly like the conversation we had last week. Very similar to what the way Gateshead play, yeah. So
I think it's probably very much the same. Very much the same. I think that's how we won the National League South a few years ago. That's how Dorking have gone up. So we've got our management team in Stewie and Matt. They've stuck to their principles over the last 1.5, 2 years they've been in charge. I don't think they'll ever change. The benefit of that is it's almost like a little bit like academy football. So we've had good experience with loaning academy lads who've come in, and it's done them the world of good. A few of them are playing in the EFL Cup tonight who were with us last year, because we play a good brand of football, and these non sort of lower league EFL teams want their youngsters to come and play with us. So you should see an attractive.
Well, hello there, and welcome back to the Heed Army podcast commentary on National League TV streaming service as well. Hopefully we're back to the levels we were. There we go. Well, it is half time. We are waiting for the teams to come back out for the second half. It currently is Gateshead 2, York City 1. We've had a fantastic first half, and I'm sure the second half will deliver more of the same. We are a fully interactive commentary here. For those that are just listening on the audio version, you can send us a message on the platform you're on, whether on YouTube or Facebook. Drop the message in the comments, and we'll give them a readout. And likewise, you can tweet us as well if you're watching at home at Heed_Army. And we'll read out them. Let us know where you are in the world, where you're listening or watching from. It'll be an absolute pleasure to have you join us. And we'll give you a little shout out as well when there's a break in play. Also, as well, a little bit of housekeeping. If you'd like to join us on the Heed Army podcast live on Thursday night, 9 p.m, we will be doing our first show of the new year. We'll be hopefully talking to a Barnet fan as well, and we'll have that to talk. Hopefully, I forgot the name of the Barnet fan that we spoke to earlier in the season. We'll reach out and hopefully talk to them about how their season's going thus far. And we'll be talking about all the things Gateshead, of course, this result as well, and looking back at the highlights. And we'll be seeing what there is to talk about. So if you'd like to do that, please do. And also like and subscribe to our YouTube channel. That would be amazing as well, so we can reach more Gateshead fans or even football fans in general across the world that might be interested in our little club or whoever we are playing. So there we go. There's the little bit of housekeeping, as it were. The teams are going to be coming back out very, very shortly, and we'll be getting back underway here at Gateshead International Stadium. And we'll go through the teams again when the teams come back out. And we hope you're enjoying this. We're enjoying the game thus far. I think there's going to be more goals in this one in the second half. So don't move, don't go too far, and say relax and buckle in for the next 45 minutes.
Reminder of the 50-50 draw number 37632.
Well, I'll say, Mark, I'm just said there before you picked up your headphones and your microphone. I think there's going to be more goals in this game in the second half. I think it's set up for it.
Yeah. I mean, like I said before the interval, there's going to be a reaction from York. You know, they'll be disappointed that they conceded just before half time, so they're going to come out, you would imagine, all guns blazing. It's down to Gateshead to really defend against that and just keep the discipline. You know, that's a big thing for the first maybe 10, 15 minutes of the second half. Gateshead need to just get control of proceedings, and if they can, try and nick a third goal. It's an intriguing second half. It was a great first half. Two sides again, I'll say that I think are pretty evenly matched, but Gateshead's big players have come to the fore, and they'll need to do it again second half. It's going to be, as I say, a really intriguing second half.
It certainly as well. I don't know if it's on the screen, if the streaming service has this at the moment. The mascot, Rooney the Goat, has been trying to save penalties on our right-hand side, and well, he jumped to save one, and the head came off. To much, he's struggling to get up now. He's hiding. It's back on. It's back on. But hopefully we'll be seeing a little bit better footballing display in the second half than what we've seen from Rooney the Goat there, Mark. But
well, that's not difficult, Dave.
It isn't. But I'd imagine it's a lot warmer in that mascot outfit than what it is here at the moment. Of course, the sun is setting here on Tyneside. Oh, he scored. There we go. Rooney scored. I said it. The dusk is starting to happen here now at Tyneside, and it's a very clear sky, and it is very, very cold, Mark. If we hear any teeth chattering, it's either mine or yours in the second half.
Well, I'm trying not to put this microphone too close to my lips because I think we'll probably freeze to it.
Well, so you can interact with us like we have said earlier on there. You can tweet us at @Heed_Army. That's HEED_Army. If you'd like to tweet us and let us know where you're watching from. York fans as well, we'd love to hear from you. So we're not just here to provide the game for Gateshead. We're seeing the game as we see it. You can't hide when it's on the telly. You can't give it as rose tinted when it's all there to be seen. And Gateshead are coming back out onto the pitch, led by Greg Ollie there. And Gateshead just going to go for a little warm up here, I think, on our right hand side. There's a few players taking on water at the bench, and out come York as well. So we're moments away from the second half. So if you want to get that kettle on or switch the heating on if you're cold, just to rub it in, you've got that time. Well, we've seen some interesting battles. I think both full-backs and wingers have had, from each side, it's
been the highlight of the game, the battle out wide, Dave. You're right. I mean, I will say, I think Gateshead's two full-backs are probably not been given too much of a harder task in other games this season. The two wide men for York have been really impressive so far. And that's been the main threat. We talk about John Lewis a lot, about his hold-up play, but I think he can't do his job without the two lads out wide doing theirs.
So not well. Camille Conter and Shaq Ford there, just high-fiving. Of course, former teammate at Watford. Shaq Ford on loan from Watford for the remainder of the season at York. Yet to see him make his debut for York. That might happen this afternoon. But the referee is out. So is the linesman there, just checking the goals. And we'll be underway very, very soon.
Well, obviously Rob Elliott was at Watford last season, and he really rates Ford. Yeah. Thinks he'd be a real threat. So, Gateshead are aware of it. But being aware of it when he's off the job, if he comes on.
Well, we'll see what is going to unfold here. We're about to get away in the second half. It's currently Gateshead 2, York City 1. And we've got 45 minutes left. If it's anything like the first half, we're in for a treat. If we just count the players there, checking with the goalkeepers. And we are about to get underway. Dan Pybus stands over the ball. And there we are, back underway in the second half. As Bailey wins yet another header. Pybus brings the ball down to McLaughlin. Duckworth plays the ball over the top. And the run there of the goal scorer Hancock, who lays it off. Now in comes the cross towards John Lewis, and he puts it past the post. He really should have done better. That was a golden chance for the York forward there.
Well, I remember at half time when I said Gateshead have to concentrate in the early stage of the second half. There's your warning, because I think John Lewis, with his ability, particularly in the air, he really should have scored there. And he really should have, at very, very least, hit the target.
You don't want to give a striker like that much practice. Well, there we go. That was only 30 seconds into the first half, and we had a shot across the bows. But Gateshead play out from the back as Montgomery goes long. Duckworth turns to get in front of the ball, takes a touch, plays it down the line. Gateshead win the header, and Downward picks up on the left-hand side of the box. Needs support, gets it into Campbell. Campbell turns, lays it out. Can Gateshead get this ball in the box? Plays it inside to Ward. Ward now twisting and turn left-hand side of the box. He needs support. Pye now lofts it in. Elliott brings it down, lays off to Campbell. Campbell finished it. Oh, hits the stanchion behind the goal. And we've seen that so many times from Campbell over the years. It just thought that was going to nestle in the back of the net.
Well, the keeper's just stood, isn't he? He knows he's beaten, and if that's on target, simply scores. It's a great effort. He's tried to be a little bit more controlled. He hasn't just smashed it. Chances for both sides. Great start the second half.
Well, both keepers thankful to see the ball go past the post in the first 90 seconds of the first half. Well, Bailey wins the header. Ward drops deep to get involved. Plays down lane to Conter. Conter turns. Lays it off to Ward, sorry. Lovely stuff. Can he get inside? Comes off a York player for a throw on the far side. Well, we talked just before we came out about Shaq Ford being on the bench as a danger for York. Gateshead, of course, with two strikers of their own. As the ball comes across the right-hand side, he pulls it back. There's nobody there. The ball goes out to play. The flag had went up. Good effort, though, from Robbie Tinkler. Of course, Lewis Knight back from injury, made his first team debut last week. But Connor Carty as well, youngster on loan who scored from, he's on loan from Bolton Wanderers. He's also found the back of the net this season. So there's options there if Gateshead need to freshen it up higher up the pitch.
Yeah, and of course you've got Dan Joyce, who you can sort of get involved in the front three as well. So there's options for the first time, I think, this season near enough. How many headers has he won in the air, by the way? Owen Bailey.
He's been phenomenal so far this afternoon. And yet again, there you go. As Conter comes back to help out, but it falls to a York shirt. And Gateshead trying to get back numbers. Tinkler read it well. Nice footwork from Elliott to adjust himself. But Farrowfield got the ball, but Gateshead win the ball back through Ollie. And now it's with Elliott on the right-hand side. Plays it to there. Nice run on the underlap from Ollie. Can he keep it in? He did. And it went into the side net. Referee was very behind play there, wasn't he, the assistant?
Really interesting appeal for offside by, I can't remember who it was. He was running back there for York, but I think that was more in hope than expectation.
Yeah. Well, the referee, the assistant was a good 10 yards behind play there.
He got there eventually.
Well, goal kick. And Ethan Ross, who I believe is on loan from Stockport County. So he'll be familiar with Ethan Pye, I'd presume. There's John Lewis does well to lay it off. Gateshead just closed down in numbers there, but having cleared the ball well enough. And there, Gateshead poked the ball out only as far as on the right-hand side. And Hancock's is trying to cut in and hasn't been cleared yet. Now it's going to fall to Hurst. Hurst gets it from his feet, puts it across. By hook or by crook, Gateshead got it out of play. But yet again, you've got to fear York on the break.
Yeah, just a little bit self-inflicted that from Gateshead. Sometimes, I know we love this, passing game. That's what they encourage. But sometimes I think you just need to try and get rid. I think there's something planned here. John Lewis is coming over to speak to the.
Yeah, well,
taker.
He's definitely not going to go short, is he, with John Lewis in the corner? Well, the captain trots back towards the penalty spot here.
Thomas to take it.
And he's standing behind Coogan. Now there's movement. In it comes, it's low, headed out for another corner from Adam Campbell there. Referee wants to have a word with somebody, though.
Talk about all the height in the area.
And Adam Campbell clears the ball, yeah.
Man that clears it. His position was excellent.
In comes the delivery there, straight into Montgomery's hands. It was a dangerous one. Very close to the keeper, though. Lovely. What a throw from Montgomery to Campbell. Gates on the attack straight away. Ball lofted across there now to Elliott. Elliott needs support, though. And Ward's there. Can he get down there? I think Duckworth did enough to put him off, and out it goes for a goal kick.
Great
But
throw
what
from
a throw,
Montgomery.
the vision and the delivery of that from Montgomery to Campbell. Wow, this has started off just like how the first half ended. Well, apparently there's a walrus in Blythe. Someone sent us an article. Thank you very much. The game's not that bad at the minute. We don't need to cover local wildlife at the
I think
moment.
it's the same one that was in Scarborough.
Oh, well.
Anyway, back to the game.
Back to the
More
game.
importantly.
We've got a goal kick here. The walrus throws. I wasn't expecting to be talking about the walrus during the commentary today. As Linnell John Lewis wins the header, and it goes all the way through to Montgomery. Gateshead just happy to slow it down. Montgomery walking out the box with the ball at his feet. Now he's going to go along, puts it up towards Tinkler. Tinkler wins the header. Campbell chases it down, and it's gone. Oh, he's kept it in, and he's on the attack. He's driving into the box, lays it off. There's a Ward. The hit off the heels of Elliott. There's appeals for offside. I don't know how, but the ball is with Tinkler here. Can Gateshead carve something out again? As Story lays it to Richardson, just inside the Gateshead half. Now it's lofted forward, looking for a run of somebody, and well, Cooks was left in disarray there as Campbell went away with the ball. But York straight back to closing down, and that's a poor ball from Story to Kenton Richardson. In hindsight, you would like to have seen that go down the line. But York will throw level with the corner of the box on the left-hand side of the pitch. There's Farrowfield. Stands with the ball aloft. And so Hancock's Gateshead clear the ball out of touch anywhere will do at this moment in time. Well, Gateshead fans letting it be known they're unhappy with something. Turner Campbell, there was a nudge in the back on Hancock's there, and free kick, dangerous position, especially with the height of Coogan and John Lewis, just to name two.
Dangerous this in swinger.
Mapaiba stands over it. Paddy McLaughlin's come over as well. Lots of discussions about these set pieces as McLaughlin lays the dummy. Now it goes over there towards John Lewis, gets the header off over the bar. And, I think it was Coogan there that got the header off. What a kick from Montgomery to Elliott. Elliott, can he get through? Was it pulled down last man? Referee says no. Well, that you've seen them given in the past.
That's a hell of a knock from Montgomery as well, by the way.
There's now the ball up towards John Lewis, brings the ball down well. He's got Story for company, gets the ball into the box. There's Montgomery to come out and gather it. And, this is just absolutely lightning pace stuff here, end to end. And if you are just joining us, Gateshead 2, York City 1, 55 minutes gone here at Gateshead International Stadium. And we've got well over half an hour of this to continue as Montgomery pumps the ball up, picks out a York shirt this time. Ball played forward as McLaughlin chases down, but Conter does well to get his body in front. And Conter, little ball inside, but York closing down. At the moment, that's a lovely bit of vision. Conter. Oh, nice stuff. Ward lays it off to Ollie. Ollie looks up. He's got players in front of him. He's got them on either side, but he goes out to the right-hand side. Tinkler, edge of the box. Nice touch to Tinkler. Can he get back inside to Ward? Ward's touched it. Oh, just took it away. And the York defender managed to get in front of it. And wow, that was beautiful bit of passing play. Just if only something could have come from it. And Linnell, John Lewis, judged to have fouled Story in the centre circle.
That's the best pass play we've seen from Gateshead in a long time. That was brilliant. One-touch passing.
Well, they're enjoying themselves out there at the moment, but it's a very close game. And now Pye gives it to Bailey. Richardson. And Pye again gives it back to Bailey. I'd like to see Pye get back in position. There he is. He's trotting over now. Richardson. Gives it to Campbell. Campbell gets the ball. Oh, he's having a great time on the right-hand side. Kenton Richardson just stole the ball there. His momentum took him into the path of the ball, and out it goes for a goal kick. But as I say, at the moment, Gateshead, they're enjoying their little passages of play, and if one of those come off, you're talking about another contender for goal of the season with the build-up play at the moment. But you've got to put the ball in the back of the net, that said. And at the moment, York's still threatening as well.
Yeah, still very much in this game, York, aren't they? And it just takes one chance. We go back to that forward threat, the front three. All three of them possess enough danger for Gateshead to know that they've got to keep the concentration and try and really keep the game in the final third.
Going to take the throw. Pye gets it up to Elliott. Elliott's nice little touch there, but doesn't find a Gateshead player, and he's putting the York City defence under pressure still. Tinkler wins the header. Conter, can he bring this down? Beaten in the air himself, but Tinkler picks up loose ball and gets it to Ward. Ward under pressure from Duckworth. It's more of a wrestling match there than anything, but Gateshead come away with the ball. Campbell lays it off to Ollie. Ollie looks up, gives it back to Campbell. This is good stuff. If he looks out on the left-hand side, the ball was there to be played, but York did well to intercept that one. And I say there's a few players looking a bit tired out there for both sides. It's been non-stop.
No, it's been a great game so far, hasn't it? And, you look at the next sort of 10, 15 minutes are going to be define who wins in the end. I think it's Gateshead just need to try and get a third. They've had chances to really press York, and they probably started the better of the two teams in the second half.
Conter now on the ball. He's got Campbell on the right-hand side. Elliott to his left. He uses Elliott left-hand side of the box. He just checks his run, plays it inside. Can he pick out a Gateshead player? He can. Fortunately, no, now Ollie on the edge of the box goes for a little flick. Can he get to Ward? Ward goes through. No, referee says no penalty. It would have been a harsh one to be given that.
I thought Greg Ollie was fouled on the edge of the box.
Yeah, it's lightning stuff. I wouldn't want to be the referee out there today. He's gonna make one team unhappy.
Well, you hope he hasn't overdone it at Christmas, don't you?
Oh, well, there we go. There is the throw-in on the far side, and that's the Gateshead. Well, Pye has the ball. That's it to Bailey, back to Pye, and that was a poor pass back there, and this could let York in as John Lewis holds the ball up. He's twisting and turning, does well. Hurst is in Akers on this left-hand side there, and he's showing his frustrations as well. He's not happy.
You might see some changes coming up in the next 5 minutes.
Yeah, there's a few York players warming up down to our left. Throwing on the far side. Same place where Gateshead had about 5 throws in the first half. Very strange how it's happening in exactly the same place. Ball comes into the box though. There's Tinkler to clear the ball. And Gateshead can try and break with this. If Ward can bring it down, he can. He needs to get some teammates there as Campbell was upended in the middle. Referee was right in front of it. Wants nothing to do with it. But Gateshead still in possession. Tinkler back to Richardson. Takes a deflection. The ball over. Is it going to go through? It doesn't. Now York can build. Butterfield. And that's come off Campbell. And the number 2, had a torrid time so far in the second half. "60 minutes gone. York looking to get level as Linnell John Lewis was fouled by Kenton Richardson. I think Owen Bailey thought he was fouled. He didn't see the initial tackle there. But this is a dangerous set piece when you've got the people in York side, like we've said numerous times throughout this game, and they're setting up here for the delivery to come into the box. As
Adam Campbell's still unhappy about when he was tripped when he was on that break, and I think he's got a point, because he's one of Gateshead's real threats as they broke forward before, but he was clearly impeded off the ball.
Well, Duckworth puts this one in towards the far side of the box. Ball won by York, cleared by Gateshead, and now Dan Ward can try and open up. He's got Paddy McLaughlin in front of him, gets it to Elliott though. Unfortunate there. But York done well to get the ball back, and it's just a hot potato at the minute. It's bouncing off people. And Gateshead clear. Oh, lovely stall. Montgomery's been watching the World Cup and the Brazilians as he showed the shuffle there and cleared the ball. As Duckworth finds himself clearing the ball up that side, but Gateshead have the ball in possession now. All very scrappy. Gateshead not finding the space, and neither are York. Fallowfield plays it. To Coogan there. And twice Gateshead nearly tried to intercept, but Pybus now gives it to McLaughlin, out to Duckworth. Duckworth down the line. There's Nathan Thomas slowed down somewhat in the second half so far. As Conter turns his man, runs into space, and now he's got Campbell on the right. He's got Ward on the left. Plays it through. There's Ward busting the gut to get to the ball. He needs some men to aim at though, and he just controls the ball. Lays it back. And Gateshead can try and
it's all right.
Open up some space here.
Harriet.
Richardson. Out to Tinkler on the right-hand side. Back to Richardson. York just happy to get into defensive shape here as Gateshead tried to open up a space. There's a lovely little flick through there as Elliott has the ball now. He's on the right-hand side of the pitch. Campbell comes down right-hand side of the box, gets the ball. What can he conjure up here? Gets a throw in, and Gateshead can try and get this ball in the box now.
Tinkler made a great run inside him there. If that ball could squeeze through, he's pretty much in right side of the area in his own.
Well, York substitutes getting instructions. I think we're going to see Shaq Ford make his way onto the pitch very shortly. As the ball's got back to Tinkler. Can he cross a ball in here? He wins it. Was deflected, cleared. Thought it was just going to skim out for a corner there as John Lewis battles with Story. Collects up the loose ball. He's a real handful, John Lewis. Pybus puts the ball out to the far side now as Thomas drives for Nathan Thomas drives forward with the ball and his ball forward just doesn't reach its target now for a goal kick.
That was a really dangerous situation then. Thomas, it's just really poor execution. You know, he's got a chance to cut inside. He's had a great run that's been made for him, and it just hasn't lacked communication, I think, between the two York players there.
I mean, you can see the frustration as well from John Lewis when that ball went out there because he's just ghosts into space, doesn't he, Elliott there? And Montgomery's on the same wavelength at the minute for finding him. And there's the ball forward now for Dan Ward to chase onto as the ball is cleared out for a throw just on the halfway line here between the dugouts. And Dan Ward looks absolutely knackered at the moment. He's chased everything down. You could see he didn't have the same zip in his run there, did he, when he was chasing that one down? But
he's put in a solid 63, 64 minutes. I think, you know, you look at the options, Lewis Knight maybe, or Dan Jarvis could maybe play that role as well.
Well, Elliott holds the ball up. Where's Ward there? He latched onto it and it just got took away from his feet. But look at that stuff from Ethan Pye. Fantastic stuff. Left-hand side of the box. Gets it inside to Dan Ward. Ward tries to get across. And it comes to, York have managed to defend it. They stood firm and stood well. And now they'll try and build here from this throw in here on the right-hand side.
Do you know, by and large, Ethan Pye's done very well at left back against Thomas.
50-50 ticket. The draw prize has been claimed. It has been claimed. 50-50 has been claimed.
Well, fourth official gets the board ready for the substitution as Kent Richardson clears that ball right up the pitch. Lovely brought down by Campbell. Can he get it through towards
a little bit less on it?
And say that great communication, just the execution wasn't the greatest there. Hurst is screaming for this ball on the left-hand side. Nobody's picking him out in space here from the York side. And Gateshead managed to pick up the ball again in midfield. Conter lays it back to Story back to Montgomery. And now it's cleared up the pitch. It's headed clear.
Great win.
Gateshead bring it down in midfield. Now Conter brings it down. It's going all the way himself. Here he is. Camille Conter is on the far side and the ball's just going to...
Tell you what.
York seem to take the time to clear that one, but it falls back to a blue shirt in Owen Bailey. Bailey picks out Campbell. Now Ward drives in. I thought he was going to get the 1-2 there, but it's been cleared again. But Gateshead managed to keep the ball moving forward. Gateshead pick it up again in midfield. They're picking up every second ball here at the moment. Now Ollie gives it to Richardson. Back to the captain, Ollie. Ollie just calmly gives it to Bailey. Gateshead just happy to stay in possession, let the ball do the work at this moment in time. Stop the substitution from happening. As Shaq Ford stands on the halfway line. He's been told to get a little bit further back there. Gateshead just happy moving the ball. 64 minutes gone. Still Gateshead 2, York City 1. But this is a very open game if you are just joining us, as Danny Elliott chases it down. Ball's going to go out for a Gateshead throw, right-hand side of the dugout. And this is a change to see how York can grab a foothold back in this game.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to change.
I think it's Nathan Thomas that's going to come off here, by the looks of it.
To change in formation, or if it's.
In fact, I think that what it is, they've put up the two substitute numbers there, so no one knew who was coming off. So there we go. So it is Duckworth coming off. So it's going to be a formation change here, you would imagine, if the right back is coming off, or right wing back. And Shaq Ford is on.
Substitution for York City. Leaving the pitch, number 28, Michael Duckworth, being replaced by number 9, Shakir Ford.
Well, lovely stuff from Gateshead on the edge of the box. Campbell, nice just got took away, and Coogan was there to clear the ball, but Gateshead pick it up again.
Good ball.
Now, Elliott, was he being held there? There's appeals. Conter comes in, and it just deflected away from him. And, well, Ford gets his first touch of the game and helps in the build-up play. It's on the far side now with Nathan Thomas. Thomas looks to carry the ball forward. He's got options right in front of him, and he plays the ball down the line there. Can it be kept in? The cross comes in. It's dangerous, but the header goes into James Montgomery's hands.
Gateshead done really well to get back into shape there and get some organisation. It was that was a real threat there from York. I will say, I think the ball that's gone through to the lad overlapping was just a little bit overhit. He's stretching to try and get the cross in. He's done pretty well to get anything on it in the end, but York just haven't made the most of these attacks. But the warning signs are there for Gateshead.
Absolute lightning break that was. Well, the temperature continues to drop. Montgomery just plays it out to Richardson. Tinkler, first time ball inside there, nodded down by Cook.
I don't know if there's another sub coming on.
Crooks, sorry, I've been saying Cook. Sorry, it's Crooks.
Possibly Lewis Knight.
So Gateshead look to be bringing on Knight by the looks of it. Yeah, 27 looks like it.
Great ball.
As the ball comes over, Tinkler brings it down well. Can he lay it inside? He can, but it's felt to Dan Ward forward nicely. Lovely flick from Ollie to Ward. Ward puts it into Campbell on the right hand side. He looks to play it in. Ward's carried his run. Can he cut it back? He can. Can anyone get a finish off? It's going wide by Ollie. And that shot, it's been for out. And it's a corner everywhere but the back of the net. And York just happy to see the ball go over the line.
I think this might be Dan Ward coming off. He has looked very tired. He's put in a brilliant shift.
He certainly has. He just ghosted into that position there as well for that run. As we're about to see the board here. Dan Ward with a beautiful goal to give Gateshead the lead here. Will that be the defining goal? Still 21 minutes left here at Gateshead Stadium. But Dan Ward's contribution has been absolutely phenomenal so far. But Lewis Knight, it's been an injury-plagued start to his Gateshead career. Only his second appearance. What can the little Yorkshireman do? Let's hope he can.
Well, he's got plenty of quality. He's the sort of player that Mike Williamson and Ian Watson love. Saw enough of him at Bradford Park Avenue. Didn't quite happen from at Notts County, but if he can get fit and get in this side, they've got a great player in their hands.
Well, the referee now was happy to let the kick be taken. It's been taken short. Campbell to Ollie. Ollie, can he put it in from the edge of the box? He can't. It's gonna. It just wouldn't sit up for anybody at the moment, and it's more of the same. Wow. Well, compose ourselves again.
The one thing else Knight has to do, he's got to help in terms of defensively. He's got to track back and really help Ethan Pye.
Well, the ball over the top there. There was Lewis Story. Ethan Pye clears the ball up the pitch. And that's going to bounce all the way through to Ross, who comes outside of his box. Up towards John Lewis, beaten in the air by Bailey. Handball, surely. Referee says no.
Wasn't.
You keep us right. As Hancock puts it and went for another Was that a cheeky chip attempt or
I think it was
poor cross?
a skewed cross.
No. Whatever way it ended up in Montgomery's hands at the moment.
Tinkler has the ball.
Tinkler. He's actually telling it to go straight up the pitch, I think, there. There we go. Tinkler doesn't win the header, but it bounces through for Campbell on the run. He's down towards the corner flag. Wins a throw in for his troubles.
I know it can become predictable playing that ball to Tinkler, but it works. You know, even though when he hasn't won the ball,
you know, he's not the tallest player, but his anticipation and his timing is
sprint as well.
Yeah. Oh, lovely stuff from Ollie. Just couldn't get past Pybus there. And Pybus clears the ball up to John Lewis, who lovely touch out there at Nathan Thomas, but good recovery from the Gates of defence. And now Coogan can play it back to Ross. Ross up towards the halfway line. Pye, can he win that unchallenged, but only got it towards Pybus.
Good win.
Elliott wins the ball back. Oh, it's a foul just been given there. Mike Williamson and Ian Watson can't believe what they're seeing there, but tackle from behind. The referee's always going to side on the side of the player that's just been tackled from behind.
I think there's an injury here. Gateshead.
It looks like it's Pye, is it? I hope not. He's had a phenomenal game.
I'm trying to work out what they might do if it is. Possibly
maybe
Elliott Forbes at centre back and move Richardson to left back, possibly.
Possibly. It's you would need someone with a little bit more pace than Louis Story out there. Not that he's a slow coach, but this has been a game that has been absolutely lightning down the flanks so far. Just where we have a break in play, it'd be amiss for me not to mention someone that the North East non-league family has lost this festive period. Barry Heinsohn, to the people of the North East and North East non-league football, was the voice and the man that gave a voice to so many players and clubs and stories around the North East, who sadly passed away. I think it was Boxing Day. And as I say, just a mention to him, it would be amiss if I didn't. I only met him on a handful of occasions, but I listened to him for years on BBC Radio Newcastle. Mark, I know you were a good friend of his in the later years of his life, and what a miss to North East football, and also to his family as well. You know.
Yeah, I mean, he voiced, many a drive home from games on a Saturday. Listen to the latest results coming in. Him and Paul Dixon, who's here today, obviously the two of them made a formidable team. So yeah, a sad loss. You would have loved days like today. Maybe it's not the temperature, but he would have loved days like today. And he's just a missed to us all. Yeah.
Well, the free kick's been taken like a set piece here from the goalkeeper right up towards the edge of the box. A lot of York players committed forward. Ball's going to trickle out for a goal kick.
He's come back on, hasn't he?
Yeah, he's come. Well, that's good.
Another sub coming on, I think, for York.
Yeah, can't see who it is at the moment. We'll let you know as soon as we see the shirt number. But we're underway for our audio listeners as Montgomery has a ball at his feet, clears the ball up towards Robbie Tinkler. Ball bounces over the top. Did he win the header? The referee and linesman didn't know.
Make a decision.
Well,
both looking at each other.
The linesman was 5 foot away from that. Well, Shaq Ford manages to keep the ball moving for his teammates as Pybus plays it out to Fellowfield, who's went out to that right back position on the far side. Nathan Thomas driving forward with the ball, plays it back to Fellowfield. Ford now on the ball. Gets past Conter, goes for a shot, deflected it, and goes all the way back into the York half on the far side. As Coogan lets it go out. Is he going to take the throw? He is. There's Paddy McLaughlin. Gated sitting quite deep here. Back 4 there. 75 minutes gone. As Dooku is waiting on the sidelines to be introduced. Great stuff from Tinkler. Tinkler wins the second tackle as well. And the ball judged to have went out direct from Tinkler. And now we're going to see the substitution of Manny Dooku coming on for. We'll see momentarily. Wait for the ball to come round.
Nope, we're not going to see.
I think it might be Hurst, is it? He's coming out. Nope. Yes. So we've seen the last of Alex Hurst in this half. And it does look like a formation reshuffle here. You've got three up front now, and they've went more 4-3-3, haven't they?
They've got to go for it.
Yeah.
Substitution for York City. Leaving the pitch, number 7, Alex Hurst, being replaced by number 27, Manny Duku.
Well, now I would imagine we might see Linnell John Lewis drop a little bit deeper to win those headers to flick them on.
But Duckworth looks like he's just going to sit in behind.
Yeah, he looks the same. He's got some height as well, hasn't he? To add to this forward line as the ball comes in. John Lewis battles for it. Plays it across to Butterfield, who managed to pick out Thomas. Thomas plays it back to Barrafield. Plays a deep one in here, but there's...
Take money. It's a great take.
I'll say Manny Duku was just lurking behind him there.
Do you know that's really decisive goalkeeping there? Because he could have stayed on his line and tried to let his defender deal with it. He's come and he's just made sure he's got two hands on the ball, clutched at his chest, and now can clear.
Well, now up towards Robbie Tinkler, wins yet another header, goes into the centre. Can Elliott get there? He's beaten from behind by Currigan, and now Ford appeals for handball. He chested it down. Mike Williamson's arms aloft. He can't believe it as Richardson clears the ball. Up towards Ford, beaten by Bailey, and just went a little bit scrappy in midfield from Gateshead at the moment. And Gateshead need to just get on top of this if they want to keep the lead, not let York carve out any chances. As Thomas now drives with the ball, cuts inside. He's still got the ball, lays it off to Bypass, who that was a poor ball. Pybus there. He gets the ball back. He's still got it in possession. Now the ball comes back, but Gateshead intercept it on the edge of the box and clear the ball, looking for the run of Elliott.
Settle it down.
Well, Gateshead still sitting quite deep here. They've got a lot of players committed forward of York at the moment. And now comes the crossfield ball over here to Hancock, who chests it down, gives it to Ford. Ford plays it inside to Duku. Duku gets a shot deflected, but there was Montgomery to dive down to his left and gather that ball up.
So 14, it's Elliott.
That's
Elliott Forbes coming on.
Elliott Forbes is going to come on. I think this is going to be...
Is it Greg Ollie down?
Yes, he is down, and he's had a great game so far. You don't want to see any players going down, but that just shows you the effort that's went in this afternoon. It's been non-stop. And there's a few York players as well grabbing some air.
Prize was claimed.
What's he doing?
Well, this is a strange one here. We're waiting. Well, obviously he's not letting the substitution happen at the moment. They haven't. Ball's in play, so we will see it shortly. But Elliott Forbes is going to be coming on. But who for? Right up there. A hell of a kick there from Montgomery as Ford battling. Comes off Ford for a Gateshead throw. And we'll see the substitution now, will we? I can't see anyone making a move yet. It is going to be Greg Ollie. Well, he's put in a great shift this afternoon. Vice captain Owen Bailey will take the armband. There we go. And Elliott Forbes will come on, but we talk about the two midfielders in Bailey and Conter have been very busy, so is Greg Ollie.
Yeah, he had a good game, Greg. Worked hard defensively, tried to keep shape in there, but also going forward, he's played some nice little play on the edge of the box and picked out those passes that we've seen him do many a time, haven't we, over the last 3 years.
Campbell gets it back to Tinkler from the throw. Tinkler tries to get it through to a teammate, nobody there. As Linnell John Lewis was hustling and bustling there. Tinkler saying there was a foul. Referee saying nothing given. Ford under pressure. Beaten by Elliott Forbes. Elliott Forbes gets the ball. Well, is it the... Well, I mean, the tackle looked clean from where we were. It was right in front of the dugout. He seemed to win the ball.
Well, the reaction of the entire Gateshead bench.
Yeah, I mean, our position, we couldn't actually see the initial tackle. We just seen it go in and seen the ball go across. So, well, here we go. Another.
You might be able to see something different on the footage, but from where we are, it looked and sounded like you got the ball.
Yeah, well, we're going to see this free kick used like a set piece from deep inside their own half. Going to aim for the big men. Dooku just got onside there when the ball was kicked as John Lewis brings it down. Gateshead got around him in numbers. Haven't managed to clear the ball that well, and it's going to be with Thomas on the far side.
Great tackle.
Good tackle there. Can Gateshead manage to get the second ball? They can't, and York still with men in and around the box as Dooku wins the header up in the air. Offside flag goes up. I thought that offside flag might have actually went off for Dooku on the actual free kick before, because
But the reason it won't is because he stayed central.
Yeah.
And he's not interfering with play if the ball goes far post. If he's still in offside position, obviously when the ball's headed back across, he would have been offside. But it's what a lot of strikers are doing these days. You know, they know they're not interfering with play in certain positions in the area.
Well, free kick to Gateshead, just inside the box.
Ball's on again, you know.
Montgomery pings it up towards that man. Tinkler goes over his head though. This time Campbell does well to win it. And Tinkler, can he get the second ball? Just wouldn't sit up for him, and too many York shirts around him. Ball's being cleared, and there's Story, gives it to Richardson. Richardson just pokes it up the pitch.
I do.
Now we'll go out for a Gateshead throw between the dugouts. Wow. Starting to get a little bit nervy now. I think everyone realises if there's a mistake here from either side, that seems to be... Oh, and that was a late one on Tinkler from forward. And well, there you go. There's the yellow card. Now, do you know what was a little bit disappointing about that? Yes, it was a yellow card. It was the fact that the referee was so slow in that one and then give a yellow card when he didn't see it. That's infuriating.
I'm not entirely sure he would have given that if Gateshead hadn't appealed, by the way.
Unless he looked at the fourth official and he got a nod, but
2023.
Fantastic attendance here today. 741, I think, York fans there. I think I heard a fantastic, phenomenal away following. So they still might see something yet. We've got about 6.5 minutes remain here at Gateshead International Stadium. It's been one of those games where you daren't take your eye off it. As Richardson pumps the ball out to the far side there. Elliot Forbes chases it down. Can he keep it in? He can't. And we've just lost a little bit of the slickness from both sides, what we've had throughout this game. It's got a little bit more stretched, a little bit more nervy. Back header there by John Lewis. Gateshead just clear the ball up towards the York defence, and Coogan gives it to Ross. Ross's shot wasn't the clearance was good. That was a shot off. Oh, it goes straight into a York defender. Ross was scrambling to get back into the goal mouth there.
Tell you what, York was done well to get out of that, by the way.
Header clear by Bailey. Comes up towards Bailey again. Was he fouled? Referee says yes. Free kick to Gateshead.
On Bailey with his 912th header of the night.
Well, I say Mr. Webb isn't very happy down there on the touchline with the fourth official. Well, we await this free kick to be taken. As Gateshead are not in the biggest of hurry, but Montgomery pumps it up towards Tinkler. Tinkler wins the header, gets the second touch though, and Ford was there to intercept. And can Tinkler get the ball back as John Lewis comes deep, and that was strong play by both players. Now Ford, can he keep it in on the left-hand side, and slipped as he tried to keep it in. And Webb, he's not a happy man down there at the moment. He's shouting at ball boys for the ball. The referee's telling him to calm down. You know, it's not a bad thing. I like to say a passionate manager. He wants to win. He wants to win, and his way of getting it out there is to get a bit vocal. As Furfield because John Lewis manages to, keep the ball moving, and there's a foul on the far side. Referee's going to pull it back, and Kenton Richardson upended. I think it was. Is it Thomas? Yeah, it was. He's got a little bit of a limp, and he's walking out.
Yeah, it was a strange one. That sort of turned his back as he jumped and made contact. Definite foul. This will be a threat because York all of a sudden got a bit more height on the side.
What? Well, the referee's writing in his book for some reason. There we go.
Because he booked.
Did he book Kenton Richardson there? Did he? I didn't see it. Apologies, dear listener and viewer.
Yeah, as I say, York are suddenly a very more physically imposing side, so this is going to be a dangerous one.
Yeah, they're gonna commit to this one. And you've got Crooks here on the far left as well of this set piece. He's hovering around the back. In comes the ball. Gateshead managed to head it clear, but they've got to pick up the second ball as Tinkler. No, well, that's a dive then. That's a dive. Surely that's a dive. That's not, simulation, surely, if there was no contact.
Well, the interesting one is it's Paddy McLaughlin who's been booked.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's not great to see. I think he's just trying to make the most of the referee there and try and get a free kick to put another dangerous ball in, but you could tell from here there was no contact.
Well, Campbell now. Tinkler. Oh, there was Knight just lurking on the shoulder, but it was cleared out for a throw. It's the Gateshead dugout. Ford helping the ball along to get this throw in taken quicker. 88 minutes gone. Be interesting to see how much is added on here at the end as Campbell picks it up. And couldn't direct it towards a blue shirt. As Conter has time to nod it forward. Campbell's there as well. Can he lay this forward on for Elliott? Oh, great interception. Just to calm that one, but now Gateshead on the attack again as put out to Elliott on the right-hand side. He's going to take it to the corner flag as he tries to win a corner. Ball didn't go to where he wanted, and now York can clear it as Pye went to close down Thomas. Nothing silly from Gateshead here as Hancock's going to cross-field ball here or go up towards the big men, but Story just making us panic there a little bit, but managed to get the ball away. Lovely stuff from Knight. Knight chasing the ball down, gets past the man. He's still going. Can he keep going with the ball? Gets it to Elliott. Elliott goes for a shot. Past the post. I didn't think you would get anywhere close from there, but great work from Lewis Knight in the build-up.
Yeah, I think exactly what I was saying about Lewis Knight, that pace and that tenacity on that left-hand side. A real threat. It's a great effort, by the way, from Danny Elliott. Just skipped past the far post, but great effort.
Well, the official man of the match has been given to Adam Campbell here, but for me, that man that just won the header there, Owen Bailey, has been absolutely a rock in midfield just in front of that defence.
I think there's a few you could give it to be fair. Definitely. I think Ty's had a great game at left back against a very difficult opponent. Mike Williamson will rake up at the fourth field.
And obviously we've known Mike for a few years. It takes a lot to get him
chance here.
Well, here we are now down the right hand side. Thomas has the ball. Can he create something from the right hand side? Cuts back now, puts the cross in. It goes towards Duku. Duku couldn't do anything. Now the shot from Ford. There's the equaliser there. Ford was in the right place at the right time. Duku nodded it down, and Ford just whipped it into the back of the net past Montgomery. And York have got themselves level in the 90th minute.
Second ball. It's a second ball there, Gateshead just haven't dealt with it. It's a great finish, by the way. There's not a lot of space in that area, and Duku, it's that quality we spoke about when he came on. It's a great finish across goal through a crowded area.
Well, it's 2-2. Is there enough time for another goal in this game? Don't go anywhere.
Yeah, Gateshead just not dealing with the second ball. It's scrappy, but you can't take anything away from the finish.
Well, we're back underway. Bailey pumps the ball up towards Tinkler, who chests it down. He's fouled. I'll tell you what, that wasn't a throw. I mean a foul. Sorry, the referee's got that one wrong.
There will be a minimum of 5 minutes additional time.
Well, 5 minutes added on here.
5 minutes.
Campbell, he's going to take this set piece right out on the right-hand touch line. What can the delivery deliver? In it comes, and it's going to go behind. Is it? Yes, that's a corner. And
You can't compare.
he was at least 3 foot behind the line when he caught it. Hey. Well, Campbell is going to take this one. There we go. He's already got a ball. What can Gateshead try and carve out from this? Campbell puts this one in. It's deep. Header in the air. Oh, that was a push in the back of a York player there. And it is a free kick. Well, we certainly thought there'd be more goals in this game at half time. Well, both sets of fans. Well, that's the first time we've been able to hear the York fans this afternoon. Well, Ross in no hurry here to take this free kick. And surely got about 4 minutes remaining of the 5 added on. John Lewis wins the header there, gets the ball back. Conter manages to head it away, but it falls to a York shirt again. And York driving forward down that right-hand side. Gateshead defence do well, but they need to clear it. And there's been a foul on a Gateshead player, free kick.
Again, Ethan Pye done brilliantly there. Dangerous opponent in Thomas, as I've said many times, but he's done brilliantly there just to hold it up and then win the ball and ultimately win the free kick. I think we've probably got about 2 minutes left.
If that, it's going to be a couple of minutes, you would say here. As Gateshead look to get the ball moving, Tinkler's in acres of space now. He's been spotted. Can he get the ball? He can. Need a Gateshead shirt to pick up the second ball though. Ford drives the ball forward now. Dooku's in a foot race, but the ball's going to roll out for a Gateshead throw. Well, we've been treated to a great match this afternoon. Nodded on by Elliot Campbell. Can he find a teammate on the run? He can. Gets it across the... Oh, Knight and... Oh... Elliot managed to get the ball up towards the goalkeeper. I wouldn't say it was a shot, but... We are in the dying minutes now. You would say there's at least a minute left. Up it goes. Oh, and Bailey with a... What do you see? A cultured clearance there. Out it goes for a corner on the far side.
He's just trying to get something on it. It's unfortunate.
Well, York fans getting behind the side. They've sensed something now. They've got back into it in the dying stages. They'll be hoping to steal it at the end. What kind of delivery can York produce here? In it comes. It's going to be tight towards there as headed out, but only as far as bypass. And can Gator clear this ball out? Now, Dooku chases it down. Can he keep it in left-hand side? He can. Twisting and turning, gets the cross in. It's going to be laid off. Campbell now can get on the attack. Elliott, he needs support. Can he get past his man? No, but it falls to... Oh, and Lewis Knight. He's going to be given a yellow card. And theatrics from the referee with that burst of run there, like Usain Bolt towards him, which I thought was going to be a red card because of the theatrics.
Yeah, me too. It did look as if he was going to go for a more severe punishment.
Yeah, well, Aaron Jackson, he's got his moment in front of the TV cameras there.
This is another chance, though, isn't it? It's another chance for...
Well, they use this to such good effect, and we've said it right from the beginning, because of the personnel they've got in their lineup. They can use this to good effect. Every free kick, doesn't matter where it is, from 65 yards out, is a threat. Up it goes. It's been nodded into the middle. John Lewis brings it down. Couldn't find a teammate, though, but it's going to fall to a York shirt now. Bypass puts it in. Headed clear by Gateshead. It needs to fall to a blue shirt, but it didn't. It's on the far side, and now Thomas, can he get a shot off? He can, and it was always going to rise. And there, oh no, it isn't. Yes, it is the full-time whistle. So there you go, 2-2. It ends here at Gateshead International Stadium. Both teams They've given everything this afternoon. It was end to end. We've seen some fantastic goals from both sides. And Mark, for the positives for Gateshead, look, they've continued this unbeaten run. They've looked dangerous against one of the good sides in the league. York, they'll be wanting to push on from this under their new manager and draw a line under the festive period.
Well, it's another game unbeaten. I think Gateshead marginally maybe deserved to win it, but York has shown the qualities that we know they have. They've invested well in the summer. They've brought in some good players. It was a shock to see John Askey leave. He did a great job there. But I think it is 2 points drop from Gateshead. There's no doubt when you go into the last 2-3 minutes of a game with a lead and you give it away in the manner they did, it's disappointing. But it is another game unbeaten. It's another chance to start climbing the table.
On the plus side, though, that result does lift Gateshead out of the relegation zone this evening here at Gateshead International Stadium. It has been, I say, a very entertaining game. I hope the people that have listened and watched at home have enjoyed it. I'd like to say a massive thank you to Mark for joining us this afternoon. It's been an absolute pleasure to bring you this match. Watch the highlights from either team. You will see some fantastic goals, and it was a fully committed performance from the Tynesiders and the Minster men. It was a great game. It's been a good festive period. Gateshead will come out on top with a win and the win and the draw. They say they've got the 4 points over the festive period. They can't complain about that. It's on the up. We're out the relegation zone. Big thank you to everyone that has watched us on the National League TV streaming service, and of course to everybody on the Heed Army podcast outlets, shall we say. So thank you very much. We'll leave it there. If you'd like to join us on the Heed Army podcast on Thursday night, 9 p.m, we'll be talking about this game and previewing the next game. So there we go. We'll leave it there and we'll see you next time.